Hello, everybody, and welcome to our fourth webinar on getting started with your CodeMonkey classroom. Go ahead and pop there in the chat where you're from, maybe your first name, maybe your role within your school, and then also we'd love to hear more for you about your experience with CodeMonkey. So are you a new user, because this is getting started, or are you a user that's been on here for maybe a few years and maybe you just want some tips and tricks as our platform changes all the time, or are you just interested in CodeMonkey and you want to learn more? So pop that there in the chat and we'll kind of monitor and watch it, and look forward to kind of catering this PD then our flash webinar to you during our time today. So let's look at kind of our journey. So here's our flash webinars. Like I said, today, this is the fourth session in the series and actually the second one on getting started. So your second opportunity to learn more about that. But we have many other recordings already. So like our course review and pathway to learning, Angie's going to drop those in the chat, our playlist from YouTube. You can go ahead and watch that. But also last week we had a technology courses with our sales team about digital literacy and AI if you're interested. And then upcoming, we have some amazing webinars about our admin dashboard and subscription management, as well as some reporting and progress monitoring tools. And so those are still coming up. And so you can register for those. And we'll talk about that here at the end on how you can register to either attend live or get the recording later. But then also after those happen, those will also be included there on that YouTube playlist. So go ahead and save that maybe to your YouTube channel so that you can continue to watch those now or even later in the year when you're ready for them, because that also might be the case. You're just not quite ready to dig in yet. So as always, please follow us on social. I know back in the classroom, I love to follow CodeMonkey on different platforms because they would come out with new exciting updates and reminders that I would be able to quickly see. I could see the ways that other people, when they tagged CodeMonkey, were using CodeMonkey in their classrooms to get ideas and spark my interest. And so make sure you do that, as well as we're going to relaunch our Facebook teacher community here soon. So if you are a Facebook user, please join that group. And like I said, we're going to be kind of relaunching it. It's a great way to connect with other educators around the world and have a new PLN. You could ask questions about, CodeMonkey, and also our sales representatives as well as our customer success will be on there, so that we could answer questions for you. Also, you can ask other educators around the world how they're using CodeMonkey and for advice. And so it's just going to be a great group to kind of connect, collaborate, and share ideas. So please join us on there. So let's meet the team real quick. I'm Lauren Rata, and I'm one of the customer success managers here at CodeMonkey, as well as a trainer. There's my contact information. If you're on X or LinkedIn, please follow me, and I'd love to follow you back just to kind of build my community as well. And then also we have Angie here. There she goes. She's waving. She's another one of our customer success managers. She's amazing. She's been in customer success for over 10 years, been here at CodeMonkey for over 3. And so she's a great asset to our team, as well as she'll be there in the chat to monitor, to post links, to kind of help support me today. So thank you so much, Angie, for being here. I really appreciate you. So let's look at our objectives for today. So first, we're going to kind of quickly go through, because there are so many offerings, reviewing CodeMonkey's course offerings and the pathway to learning, kind of to help you to see what that path looks like, and then help you make instructional decisions on where to start with your students. We'll quickly look at creating classroom and rostering students to support you with getting started. Then next comes assigning courses. Then obviously after you assign courses and students are able to get on and complete the challenges, we've got to monitor the progress. So making those next instructional decisions. And then if we have time at the end, doing a little Q&A. And then if we don't, you can reach out to us and we'd love to help support you on your journey. So let's start by looking at our all course offerings. Angie's going to pop this link in the chat and I'm going to click on it and go to this new slide deck here. As you know, if you have signed into your subscription, or if you're just interested, so you do know we have many course offerings. We have 7 full courses with lessons that are preschool through, we say 8th grade, but it can be also adapted up into high school as well, depending on where your students are at with their foundation skills in coding. We have 2 additional offerings called Challenge Builder and Create Games to kind of push them further. We have 2 digital literacy units, as well as 2 different AI units on artificial intelligence and data science, and then 9, actually it might even be 10 now, mini courses. I have to check myself because they come out with new offerings all the time. So you can click through this slide deck since she made it available. Also, if you're watching this later in YouTube, it's down in the description. But here's our pathway. So actually I'm going to start here because this is what we suggest. But we say suggested because we know that we always need to teach our students at their just right level and meet them where they're at to then push them further. So we do start off our courses with block-based coding. So those are our CodeMonkey Junior and our Beaver Achiever courses. We move into text-based coding. That's with CoffeeScript and Coding Adventure. We also have a more of a math-based Dodo Does Math to kind of encompass and go with that after students have already been on Coding Adventure Part 1. And then we move into advanced coding and creation. And so as you can see, we suggest if students have kind of started on this path from the beginning, moving into the digital literacy units and incorporating those, game builder, the challenge builder, the data science, all the things, and then into our banana tails with Python at the very end. So check out this pathway. I think it's a quick, nice visual to kind of help you to see all of our offerings and our pathway and our suggestions. After that, though, we have all of our courses listed here. Each of these slides, so this does move in that order. So what we think is developmentally appropriate first in starting and then moving down into the more advanced. And so each of these slides is going to tell you the course name. It's going to tell you how many parts they have within the course to assign, a little brief synopsis about what the course is and what its purpose is for the learner. Suggested ages, and like I said, all flexible though, because it's based off your students' needs and where they're at as coders. How many lessons and the time it will take you to complete the lessons if you follow them with our actual lesson plans under our teacher resources tab. How many challenges, and then a quick little GIF so that you can see what it looks like. And so as you move down, you can see those here. I'm not going to go through that now because I'm going to focus more on our creating our classes and then assigning courses and the progress here in a second, but you can go through these to help you decide. Something else is also we have our coding curriculum app to help you make those instructional decisions. So I think Angie's going to pop that also there in the chat, but I'm going to show you how to get to it live in real time here. So you can always find it by, sorry, let me escape here. I'm going to go to my teacher account. Here we go. And I'm signed in. So if you go to your teacher resources tab down here, and then if you scroll down, it's the coding curriculum app. When you click on it, it will download for you as that PDF and allow you to open it. And as you can see, we also have taken this from what we think is age appropriate. So we start with our lowest learners. And so just because it says K, that doesn't always mean they have to be a kindergarten student. It could be that they're beginner coders. So also check out the concept covered column. And if your students have not been introduced to these concepts and skills within coding, then they might need to start here. And so this will just kind of help you to see what we suggest is, like I said, the age, if you're starting from the beginning, the name of the course, the lessons and the challenges, concept covered, and then those standards we have tied here, the Computer Science Teachers Association, as well as the ISTE international standards. So more of those technology-based standards. And then as you can see, we have pages upon pages as we move down. So check this out to also help you make those instructional decisions on where to start your students within our courses. So next, let's look at our creating classrooms and rostering students. In just a second, Angie is going to pop that into the different links into the chat because there are many ways that you can create classrooms and roster your students. But I do want to make clear from the beginning, if you have a subscription already, and it is a site license, so your entire school has a subscription to this, or you might be a district subscription, so even larger, multiple schools within your community and your district have a subscription, they're a little larger, you will have full Clever or ClassLink rostering that's available to you. And so if your district chooses that, then this is kind of process is done for you. And so that your customer success manager and your IT from the district would get in contact and set this all up for you. You will then have your account already, students will have an account, and all of your classrooms are already created for you. So that what I'm about to show you wouldn't be applicable. So just keep that in mind. If you have the whole school or district and you've decided to use ClassLink or Clever, it does look a little different. But if you're a classroom subscription, or your district might have chosen not to do the full rostering, and they're going to allow you to have set up on your own. I'm going to show you that process right now here today. So I'm actually going to pop out and I'm going to go back to that teacher account so you can see it live in real time. So when I click on my classrooms tab here, the first step is you need to create a classroom. So you come to this. So after you're in my classrooms, you're going to come here to the add a new classroom button here in the top right corner where it's green. And this is the first option. So if you are a user of Google Classroom in your district, you could click this import from Google. And once your Google is all synced and connected, it's going to allow you, and mine is already, but I don't have any Google Classrooms on this account, so you can't see them, but it's going to allow you to select that Google Classroom and import them so that students are automatically rostered in that way. The other ways that are possible here is you would just create new, and then I will name this maybe test webinar class. So it allows you to name it. You can choose if you had multiple subscriptions, so which year your subscription is. So I would usually choose 2024-25 school year. And then a school. So if you had multiple schools, you could choose which one there on your account and say create. The nice thing, so it's going to create here. It will prompt you. So if you're ready in that moment to go ahead and add students from here. If not, we can go back later on the classroom and click on it. But let's go ahead and click add students. And here are your options. So once you have the classroom created, you have a few options. You can use single sign-on. So that would be Google Office 365. Clever single sign-on is still available, or ClassLink if you have that in your district. And then we would use a class code to get them joined after that. And I'll show you that. Another method is you could just add manually one student at a time if you'd like to. So you could click here, and one at a time, you can choose if you want them to have a display name. So you could use their first name maybe, or what they like to be called in class. And then you can choose on your own a username and password, and it's going to let you know that if that is available as you type it in. So you could do that and click create, and one at a time, just have a manually created student. So I'm going to go back. The next option is if you want to manually create, but you want to do maybe multiple students at a time within the class, like a bulk create, you can click select here, and it's going to tell you about the CSV file and give you directions on how to create it, with the two columns of their first name or their display name that you want, as well as their password in that second column, and then also any type of parameters for that. So for an example, they have to be at least 6 characters long, and then also remembering being confidential. Don't use any personal information like last names or birth dates, addresses, all of those types of things. And then you can select that file once you have it as a CSV and it's correct in that way. And then it's going to allow you to upload it and bulk create those all at once for you to save some time. So that's the second option. And the third is what we talked about, that single sign-on and also using the class code. And so what that means, if you select this, it's going to give you a code so that the very first time students sign in, and like I said, they can sign in different ways. You could have created their username, but you could have the Google Classroom. You can use Google single sign-on. We already talked about Google Classroom importing, Clever, Office 365, or ClassLink. And you can lock those down so that when you do have them sign in, and then you give them that class code, that they are able to sign in that way. But also you can lock it down even further. I see teachers possibly wanting to use this and putting their school domain. That means the end of the address. So for an example, if my district was called Smith County, and I was in Kentucky, it might be at smith.kyschools.us, the end of that organization there. If you type that in here, it's only going to let students sign in using that, which is helpful because sometimes my older friends in middle or high school, they would they're just so used to use a personal email. We don't want them signing up and using a class code to join with a personal account. And so that just kind of helps filter out those students if you're interested in using that. So know that that's there. So those are our ways. I know Angie dropped it in the chat. Also, this is going to be in the description notes at the end. So that's a really quick overview about creating your classes, and then also creating your classes and then rostering those students. Let's quickly jump to next, assigning courses, because after you have your classrooms, you have to assign those courses in order for students to get started, right? So you can do this in many ways. I'm going to show you both ways, and then I'm going to show you the one that I personally prefer, especially when I was in the classroom. So here, under courses, while you're in the class, you can click on courses and explore them, and you can assign them from here if you'd like. The way I prefer is I love to go to my class assignments tab over here, because here in this way, you can bulk, I guess you could say, bulk assign or assign to multiple classes is what we call it. From here, you can see them all nicely, and you can also set progress limits or limit the student's progress on those challenges. And so let me show you how to quickly do that. Once I'm here, I can see all of my classrooms. Like I said, to assign, you can just hover over it nicely, and when that Let's see the one I just did. Here it is. Let's say I want to assign here. I can just click that green plus button. As you can tell, it turns green. It says assigned now. It's assigning that entire course and all the challenges. So if you want to unassign it, you can just hover over it and click the X and it will gray and say unassigned. Also, why I really enjoyed this perspective is, like I said, I can do it to multiple really quickly. If I see multiple sections and they're all ready, or multiple classrooms and they're all ready for that course. But also I love to set progress limits. So if I click the down arrow after it's green and assigned, I can say that day, I really just want them to go to loops, and maybe that's just challenge 4. I can type it in there. I like to push my enter button. And now it moved over on me. There it is. And then it told me at the top of the screen that now I've had that assigned. So now those students have access to that. But after challenge 4, it's going to move them back to their student dashboard on the main screen. And they cannot move any further until I'm ready for my next lesson the next day, and then opening up those challenges. And then at any time you can say, never mind, no limit. It'll open it wide, back open. And that one's, I think, 30 challenges on that section. So that is assigning courses. Next, and we're almost at the end of our time, is monitoring progress, because it's really important that when students are on here that we're supporting them, meeting them where they're at, pushing them forward. And so CodeMonkey makes it super easy to monitor your students' progress. So back under the My Classrooms tab here, you have to click on the course. And so I'm going to come here to this one here. And once I click, this is called the progress table. And I love to leave this up when I was working with students during that work time and they're on the challenges, because it's going to let me see where they're at each moment and watch them work. I can quickly meet with them, see who's struggling, and then I can also use this after class to make instructional decisions. So let me tell you a couple of features of how to use it. First, like I said, as they move, you'll see those stars pop up. You can click on each student. So I'm going to click on, sorry, I'm trying to get around my bar here. I can click on Harrison and I can see the last time he was on. So this is going to give you their student activity dashboard, is what we call that, and see where they're at, what they've completed on which course, just to kind of give you an overview of each student. So that's helpful. Some people like to view that. Also, something else I like to do is I like to actually on the challenge, click on them. So click on the stars to see the solutions by that child. It timestamps it so you know when they completed it, and also you can click on these even further and see their exact solution. So I think I asked Harrison to go back, and after he got 1 star and was able to move on, but I asked him to try again after we maybe had a lesson. And then in May, he tried again. I can click on it. He did not get all 3 stars quite yet. And also I think Angie might be popping in the star score rating link. And if not, I'll make sure I include that in the description notes as well. So I can see his solution and I can work with him to help him to have a more efficient code so he can get those 3 stars here in CodeMonkey Junior. So know that that's available as well. Also from here, something else I like, if I notice quickly that multiple friends are not doing so well on a challenge, I do like that at any time you can click here. So challenge 4, these 2 friends, maybe I pulled example student 16 and Harrison to work together. And I can click on the actual challenge number and it's going to give me the 3-star score rating or the solution so that we can look at it together and discuss how the monkey got to the banana into the treasure chest and the most efficient code and all the things. So know that that's available also here through the progress table. So that's monitoring progress. So I think we're at the end of our time right now. Let me get back to my slide deck here. Here we go. Angie, did we have, I don't know if we had any questions in the chat there live. Let me kind of look as well. Doesn't look like it. And please feel free to unmute at this time if also you have a question live in real time. We'd love to hear from you. Okay. Sometimes no news is good news. So remember to reach back out to us after today if you have any questions that we can address. But thank you for joining us today. We hope that you'll join us. And actually, I think it's me for our next webinar in this series. It's on classroom management. So if you just want to know some tips and tricks about your teacher dashboard to make coding engaging and fun and efficient for you as a teacher. Please join us next Tuesday, September 17th. The live session is at 1, and I think Angie's dropping the registration link in the chat. So register. If you can come at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, great. If not, we'll send you the recording after. And also, if you forget to register, don't forget, we have that full playlist that you can watch later and access from our YouTube channel as well. So yet again, thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you all again soon. Happy coding!